my lock screen is a picture of my husband and I on our wedding day. I thought about doing like a whole aesthetic lock screen, but I really like opening up my iPad and seeing my wedding picture. Since we both use the iPad, it kind of makes sense to just keep the lock screen a picture of both of us. And I do have an Apple Pencil, and little bite marks are not from me. I'm not biting my Apple Pencil because that would be disgusting, but my pencil fell from my case when I didn't realize it, and my cat got to it, so she started biting the Apple Pencil. Alright, so this is the first page of my iPad. I do have a couple widgets on the left hand side. So I have two pictures. I got these pictures from Pinterest. I do have a whole iOS 14 board on my Pinterest if you guys want to go check that out. And you guys can use any of the pictures for either your iPhone or your iPad if you want to customize it. I'm not going to go into super deep depth on how I went about designing my iPad. I did choose a purple aesthetic because, like I mentioned earlier, my husband and I both use the iPad and his favorite color is actually purple, so I thought it would be cute to do like a purple theme. I have two quotes for the small widgets. The first one is "All we have is now," and then the second one is "Together is a beautiful place to be." And then I have a widget for my calendar. I wanted a larger calendar so I can see exactly what date, and the whole month at a glance fairly quickly, just so I can make a mental note if I have to pay any bills or if I have anything that I need to do that's coming up fairly quickly, just as a little reminder. And I do have a larger widget. When I first designed my iPad, I was able to keep this widget on my home screen, but now for some reason I can't. I don't really know why, but I just have our three main goals for 2021, and just to serve as a little reminder every time you go on the iPad, like exactly what we're working towards. But the first app is Amazon. I'm trying my very best not to shop as often as I do on Amazon because I spend way too much money on this app. The second is the App Store. You guys already know what the App Store looks like. No need for me to really go too much in depth with that. The calendar, I actually don't really use the calendar app as much as I probably should. I do have a planner that I just like using. I do have the camera on here. The camera is actually really good on the iPad. I just never take pictures using my iPad. I don't know, I probably should, but I don't really feel the need to. So yeah, that's there. And then I have HBO Max on here. I have way too many streaming services I do need to cut back on, at least one or two. Same thing with Hulu. I do have the Hulu app on here. If you guys have any movie or TV show recommendations, definitely let me know in the comments below because my husband and I really need some new shows and movies to watch. And then I have the iTunes app. You guys know what the iTunes app looks like, but it's here. I can't say that I use this at all, but it's there in case I do need to use it. I do have the Instagram app on here as well. I'm not a huge fan of the Instagram app on the iPad just because it's not the official Instagram iPad app. That's a mouthful. So you do have to use the mobile version, the messaging app. I have Netflix. You guys know what that looks like. I do have the Notes app on here. These notes are actually synced from my iMac. I use the Notes app a lot on the iMac, but I don't really use it as often on the iPad. And then I have Pictures. I don't have the photo app automatically synced to my iPhone just because I feel like my photos would take up all the storage on my iPad and I don't want that to happen. I do have the Pinterest app on here. Obviously, I love Pinterest. I love Pinterest more than I love Instagram, actually. If I had to pick one app to use for the rest of my life, it definitely would be Pinterest. And then I do have Amazon Prime Video. Hey, again, any recommendations, let me know in the comments. And then I did recently download Procreate. I've been playing around with it. I'm not completely 100% sure how to use it yet, but I do want to step up my thumbnail game and I just want to get a little bit more creative, and I've heard really good things about the Procreate app, so I'm definitely going to get more into that. And then on the second page I have a bunch of folders, so I don't use all of these apps every single day. They're just here in case I do want to use it. This folder is quite legitimately called folder. I have the Shortcuts app, App Store, and then Find My iPhone. And then for productivity, I have voice memos, pages, files. I love using files because I can easily download something that's on my iMac to my iPad, and this is especially handy if I have a thumbnail that I downloaded from Final Cut Pro. I can just import it using the Files app instead of using AirPlay. I have the Note Writer app, and I really like this because I know that a lot of people like using, what is it, Good Notes or something like that. I forget the name of that app that's very popular, but you have to pay for that. And this app is actually free. You can obviously upgrade to the full version if you want. You can create so many different types of little notes. I normally do like scribble, and I really like this because you can literally write on this app if you want to. You can take notes on here. You can change to different types of pencils, brushes, different colors. You can actually get very creative with this. You can even import images if you have to. So I really do like this app, and I do recommend it if you don't want to pay for the Good Notes app. And then I have a YouTube channel folder. So I have TubeBuddy, Reward Style, and YouTube Studio. I use these almost every single day just to help me keep track of my channel. And then I have a photo and video app. I really like using Picmonkey to edit my thumbnails. A design kit is another great editing tool. I haven't used it in a hot minute, but you can edit your pictures if you want to. Very similar to Picmonkey, and you can use like different brushes, whatever you want. It's also free, so it's a good editing tool if you want to edit your pictures or thumbnails, things like that. Camera Connect just connects to my Canon G7 Mark II. Widgetsmith, you guys are familiar with. And then these are all my travel apps. So I use Hotel Tonight. I really like Hotel Tonight because you can get some really nice deals on last minute bookings, and you can find some really expensive hotels for like really affordable prices. And then I have Skyscanner. Skyscanner is another great way to find super affordable like hotels or flights. You can even find car rentals. And Skyscanner is a great app because it'll let you know when the cheapest time to travel to your destination is, so you can book it using that little feature. Let's say I want to go to Puerto Rico from Boston. Let's go to San Juan. It gives me literally the cheapest day between now and March, so it's very handy. I love using this app. JetBlue, I love flying by JetBlue. I even have their credit card, so highly recommend. Airbnb, you guys are familiar with. Hopper is another great app. They don't have a iPad version of their app, so you do have to use the iPhone version. This is another great way to book really cheap flights. It'll let you know when the right time to book is. Really like that. Expedia, you guys are probably familiar with. And then I have the shopping app. I don't have too many shopping apps on here. I have Crate & Barrel, Nordstrom, Shop. You guys heard me talk about this on my What's on My iPhone, but if you didn't, I'll quickly go over it. I really like this because it helps you keep track of all your packages in one app. So if you're someone like me who is constantly shopping online, this is perfect for you. It has been a lifesaver for me, so I highly recommend. And then I have Target, H&M, Etsy, and Lululemon. And then for utilities, I have Clock, Contacts, Maps, Settings, and ExpressVPN. It hides my location from apps by hiding my IP address and kind of scatters my IP address everywhere. And then for these two, obviously you guys are familiar with YouTube. I really like the YouTube app on the iPad. I'm always watching YouTube videos on here. And then this little duck is actually DuckDuckGo. And this is another security measure for myself. It hides my IP address and blocks websites from tracking me. It's honestly just like Google Chrome and Safari, but more private. And that's just a personal preference of mine. On the third page, I only have one folder, which is the app library. And these are all the apps that I customize and I change their icons. On the iPad, there's actually no app library. If you have an iPhone and you upgrade it to iOS 14, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. The iPad does not have that, unfortunately, which is quite annoying. So there's only so much customization that you can do on your iPad. I really hope they do change it fairly soon. But this is pretty much it for what's on my iPad. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.